All right, guys. Here I am. I'm finally home. Well, let me turn this freaking fan off. I hate that. I hope that was the right one. Probably not. Looks like it's taking off for flight. Jesus. I don't want to stick my hand in there. Come on. We'll see here. Anyway, I really want to talk right now about actually let me share this real quick to the backup profile. Hang on, guys. Wait for people to come in. I had originally meant to send everybody a private message in a group who usually follows me, but I didn't have time. I got home like an hour and a half ago. But I want to talk today about that Merck drug that everybody's talking about, and I talked about last month. And I also, where the hell is this video? There we go. Hang on, get shareable link. Okie dokie. Okay. Why is this showing up? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a freaking hot mess right now. Okay. Wrong button. There's too many tabs open up here. It's screwing me up. Here we go. And plus I'm on my phone account, so it's a little bit slower with the response time. So I'm just trying to get this. Why does it keep doing this? Okay. That's definitely not me. I have no idea what's going on here. It's got my picture on my other Facebook profile, but it's logged in. I guess Facebook's having some major freaking issues today. So fun times. I'm going to close this out of here. Okay. So what I really want to talk about, first of all, is these travelers. This strike that is going on is not cool. There's a TikTok that I want to share that I found last night that has a bunch of staff that are striking, and what they did to these travelers. I'm sorry, y'all. Grow the fuck up. We have a lot of problems right now. We don't need this contributing to it. We really don't. But let me share this with you because I'm pretty freaking disgusted. So I follow this nurse. She kind of debunks things and talks about what we are actually dealing with out here. There are some nurses out here boohooing and crying that they had their licenses pulled, but when she does further investigation, she finds it was usually legit. But this here, man, this just gets me. So I'm going to pause it, back it up. I want to change how this views on the screen so that way you can just see the whole damn thing. Okay. Can I unmute? Yes. Okay. Listen to this. I am so fucking embarrassed. Go home! Go home! Go home! They're paying you for nothing! There's no patients in that hospital! Go home! Fuck all of you!
Let the money free, you motherfuckers!
I am so fucking embarrassed Completely embarrassed to even be part of this. Hey, Cheryl, can you believe that? I'm just going to, I mean, I've got it attached in the description so you can go back and watch everything and look at everything that I am sharing today. But how fucking dare you? Who's going to take care of those patients? They're going to die because you decided to go on strike. You have every right to go on strike. What you do not have the right to do is terrorize and harass the staff that are coming in to bail out your fucking hospital. Your beef is with administration of your hospital, not those travel. This is why we don't even want to travel. This is why we're like, fuck you, we quit. We're just not going to deal with this because this is what we get dealt time in. This whole freaking pandemic has been nothing but this. I have been so disheartened with healthcare, and no, this is for striking, Cheryl. That was for when they went on strike in New York the other day. They brought in the travelers, 10,000 a week for the nurses again. Brought in the travelers who are probably pretty much money fucking hungry and are not going to go take care of those patients. The vast majority of those nurses are going to do the bare fucking minimum for that money. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's part of the problem with all this money. Yeah, we earned it, but they need to earn it too. That full-time staff is who should be getting that 10 fucking grand a week. You bring in a traveler for 2 or 3 days a week and pay them low. You don't pay your staff low. You don't shell out fucking money to a bunch of travelers to come into your hospital to take care of your patients. I'm just disgusted. I'm so happy I did not go out. So honestly, folks, if you're going to consider on crossing a fucking picket line right now, it is probably not in your best interest. These people are being police escorted in and out of the hospitals, in and out of the hotels. And I'm probably sure they have armed security at the hotels at this point in time. I can't. You wonder why I'm moving to Alaska? Yeah, that right there. So one of the things I want to share is an update on the Zyesami with the NeuroRx information that was released. Let me share Chrome tab. Let's go over here. Let's see here. Right here, NeuroRx. Okay, so this here, NeuroRx Pharmaceuticals announces second favorable safety report for Zyesami in the NIH-sponsored trial that I have been talking about, comparing this to remdesivir. After review of the 232 enrolled patients in the critical study, no new safety concerns were raised by the Independent Data Safety Monitoring Board, or IDSMB. They are evaluating it with remdesivir, as it says here, in the critical COVID. Folks, this is the key word here: critical patients. Everything else, including this new drug for Merck, is before you get to the hospital. We have nothing for in the hospital, even though the FDA approved the remdesivir against the WHO's recommendation and against any clinical trial that we performed that showed that there was no benefit with giving it. But yet we're giving 2 cycles of a $1,500 drug that doesn't work, but the FDA approved it. So honestly, F the FDA at this point in time, because they seriously are more involved in money games than they are human interest. I thoroughly believe it at this point in time, especially looking at this. When it comes to this whole topic, I am just disgusted. Let's see here. Found no new safety concerns at reviewing the patients and recommended continued enrollment. With this second independent safety analysis in the active trial, the safety database on Zyesami has grown to more than 500 patients across our various clinical trials and expanded access programs. So far, there have been no reports of unexpected drug-related serious adverse events. God damn, I wish we could do that with a vaccine, don't you? Instead, how about we give the people the medication that's showing no harm, huh? Why don't we do that? I'm fucking pissed. So Veklury is what remdesivir is also known as under the brand name. And see, who require high flow oxygen by nasal cannula, mechanical ventilation, or ECMO. I have had 2 people lose their mothers in the past 2 days. And I have done everything I could to send them the information. These doctors are like, yeah, no. Because they don't know about it. They haven't done any reading on it. They haven't done any research on it. Hey, Rob. But this is bullshit. We have a drug that can save people in critical freaking condition. And instead, our death toll has reached 700,000. I have been following this drug since last year. There have been zero freaking concerns. And this is just some briefing on the company. So, yeah, I'm a little angry. A little more than angry. Y'all know me. FDA does. You can suck my left ass cheek. There was also some more information released from the study about the improvement in the blood arterial oxygen level with Zyesami. I did not pull it up yet, but we have no reason for this. People need to be protesting in front of freaking Senate and the Capitol about this shit. I mean, this is what we need to be protesting about. We could have saved many lives. If you take 71%, and that was the bare minimum numbers on RLF 100, aviptadil, Zyesami, it's all the same drug. When it first came out, 71% survival, 30 and 60 days outside of severe COVID respiratory failure. Actually, when they moved it to the 60-day trial, it went up to above 80%. So figure 80% of 700,000 people who'd still be alive right now in our country. The math is off. This all leads back to money. This is what I'm going to get into. One of my friends up in Montana asked me today, what's your thoughts on ivermectin? We're using it in the San Antonio hospital I was at. Everybody was on it. Everybody. Merck's new drug. Let me go back. This is one of the same things that I shared in the past. This is one. It is all about the Benjamins. This is the one. Let's see here. Okay, so there's this one that I've shared that you guys have seen. That was in the one that I went through all the drugs, and I did link it in this YouTube video, so you can go back and reference what we talked about then. Because I know we just love repeating ourselves so many damn times. So this is the Merck testing Molnupiravir, I believe is how you would pronounce that, an investigational product at the Lung Center of the Philippines, while a large ivermectin trial runs in parallel. These are all antiviral drugs, folks. Yeah. Ivermectin isn't much different, nor is the method of delivery much different. It's in pill form. I wonder where they got the bright idea. So let's see here. They're targeting early onset COVID-19. Nothing to do with being in the intensive care unit or any of that. This is all outside of the hospital or very early on. Once you get to the hospital, you're fucked. So they're in the phase 3 trial. They are testing the drug, the oral antiviral. Sorry, I'm eating. Although Merck developed a version of ivermectin that's been used to safely quell parasitic-borne illness in many tropical areas for 4 decades, the company went on the offensive against its own products used as a therapy for COVID-19. So now the American pharmaceutical company is in a race against time in its own generic product to carve out market share. I'm just going to stop here. That statement in that article says it all. Is in a race against time and its own generic product to carve out market share. This is all about money. They're not going to make good money off of ivermectin. They will make one off of a patent that they own that they can charge top dollar on. And you, the American public, falling for all of the mainstream media BS. And we're going to go over this again. That Rolling Stone article that came out of, I believe, South Dakota. There was a doctor that came out and said that the emergency rooms were packed. They had to turn away a gunshot victim because of ivermectin overdoses. That doctor had not been at that hospital in 2 months. The hospital made a statement about it. And that freaking article is still not being labeled as misinformation. People are sharing it like it's truth, and Facebook ain't pulling it down. Okay, so there's this one. All right, let me go back. Okay, so we're going to it's about money. It's all about money. So, okay, thanks, Maddie. It is South Dakota. That doctor had not worked at that facility in over 2 months. He had no right to speak on anything. He's out here for attention. And he got it. He got it. And people are taking it as truth. And it was a completely fictitious fucking story that was made up. Rolling Stone retracted it, but it's still being shared. Especially on other platforms, other news agencies who haven't done their damn research. Big surprise there. It's all about money. So on to the next one. We're going to go to the next Merck story. So here's Merck's, I also shared this one already. This is Merck's statement on ivermectin use during the pandemic, and this was back in February. The article I just shared was from June. Let's see here. No scientific basis for potential therapeutic effect, no meaningful evidence for clinical activity or efficacy, and a concerning lack of safety data in a majority of the studies. We do not believe that the data available support the safety and efficacy of ivermectin beyond the doses and populations indicated in the regulatory agency-approved prescribing information. They had another drug that they were working on that they scrapped, and I had an article about that in there on that same video. But this is getting ridiculous. This is getting absolutely freaking ridiculous. The next one was the one I shared about Merck supplying, how they had built up a supply agreement on this new drug. Guess who's been doing that all year? RLF 100. Do we have an approval imminent? No. Okay, so this was on June 9th. This was about the same time that, because I think the other article was June 7th, talking about the drug. So they've entered into a procurement agreement with the U.S. government. The government has already bought 300,000 fucking doses of a drug that's not even approved. Didn't they do the same thing with HCQ? I don't even want to say the word. Yeah. The government is the biggest benefactor of all of this. Folks, I told you back 2 months ago that we were going to see a spike in cases and then they would drop in September, which is exactly what happened. You're going to see them spike now up north because everybody's indoors. This spreads airborne indoors very easily. This is not rocket science at this point in time. It's really not. So this one's in the move out study. The other one that I'm following is in the active study. And this is in right here, look, non-hospitalized patients with COVID. We need something for the people in the damn hospital. I'm getting so sick of this game. Merck will through the agreement, if Molnupiravir receives EUA or approval by the FDA, Merck will receive approximately $1.2 billion to supply approximately 1.7 million courses. And they expect to have more than 10 million. But what about the people in the damn hospital? I can't watch people just die anymore and stand by and know that these folks could have been saved. And we're too busy in our government playing politics in healthcare. And this is why Health 3.0 needs to come around. I'm trying to click on the new comments. They won't fucking load. Sorry. You can't see the comments. So that's what's going on there. It's all money. And let's see here. Now there's one on here's the new ones. What we know and don't know on these drugs. Okay. What we know and don't know on Merck's new COVID pill. The announcement that the pill from Merck and partner Ridgeback Biotherapeutics kept COVID patients out of the hospital made headlines and moved stocks late last week. You want to know what's falling? Relief Therapeutics. Why? Because the FDA is doing it on fucking purpose. But as is so often true when data are released by press release, there are still many questions left unanswered. Doctors are excited about the medicine because of a regimen of pills, even one that involves taking several pills twice a day for 5 days. Ivermectin, which must be given, should be far easier to deliver to patients than current antiviral COVID treatments, which must be given by IV. But it's still unclear how widely this treatment will be used. There will be There will also be debate among financial analysts at investment banks regarding exactly how many billions of dollars in sales the new drugs will generate. Here are some things to keep in mind as we learn more about the drug and other COVID-fighting pills in development at other companies. One of the reasons that the success of I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, is such a big deal is that there were questions as to whether an antiviral pill could help COVID-19 patients if given early enough. This medicine certainly did, reducing hospitalizations by 50%. It also appeared to have an impact on whether patients survived. No shit. Like, if you stay out of the fucking hospital, there's a good chance of survival. Wow. That makes it a game changer. Its success also ups the odds that other medicines will prove effective too. Results for other drugs are likely to be released by the end of the year. That includes data about a similar pill also given as a 5-day course from Atia Pharmaceuticals and Roche, and about a pill developed by Pfizer that is from a different drug class and might be combined with this drug. Another positive note for all these drugs, remdesivir, the IV antiviral made by Gilead, also showed positive results when used for 3 days after onset of symptoms. That's not practical. It had to be given via IV for 3 days. But bodes well for once again, pre-hospital. But they're giving remdesivir in the hospital. And we know from the studies that it doesn't work. It also damages the fucking kidneys. Everybody and their brother should not be given remdesivir, because I have watched more cases of kidney failure on that drug this year than I have ever seen in my entire career. And I wish I was kidding. Obviously, a drug early in COVID needs a clean safety profile. RLF 100. So far, the data included in the press release look very good. Patients in the placebo arm were 3 times more likely to withdraw from the study due to apparent side effects than those who actually received the drug. I have to come back here. Let me just read this again. Patients in the placebo arm, which is the not actually being given the drug part, were 3 times. Quit fucking with me, Rob. I'm eating. I haven't eaten in my entire trip. I am a food-driven human. Everybody knows this. They're more likely to withdraw from the study due to apparent side effects than those who actually received the drug. That means the side effects of COVID were worse than those of the actual drug. So that's good. That's good. But once again, pre-hospital. This keeps fucking with me. Everybody knows I love my food. You're lucky I ain't got a damn cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. Yeah, I can't read comments right now. Oh, there we go. They finally reloaded. Billions long range. But the thing is, with the billions of dollars, you have other drug companies that are coming up with another drug right now. So if people invest in just this drug for Merck, and then they release some more at the end of the year, it's going to take sales away. It really is. So it's really hard to tell which way it's going to go with the dollar signs. That's why it's just like with the news headlines. Whoever gets to I don't even care if it's true. Whoever gets to a headline story first and gets their information out there, that's who they're going to follow. Same thing with these drug companies and press releases. Whoever's to the freaking start line first. And that's what's going to take off. You're going to talk about Rubens right now. Almost ordered one too. It's okay, Barbara. Don't worry about it. So we have, that's some good side effects of the drug, but also with the placebo arm, is it in your head? Because of everything that we see negative in the news right now, is this in your head that's making you think your symptoms are worse? A lot of people who got the vaccine during the hero trial, they thought they were having side effects, and turns out they didn't even get the damn thing. They got the placebo. So the placebo effect is she gets grumpy, let her eat. That's facts. Like I shared a meme the other day. When I say I'm hungry, we got about 27 minutes until I turn into an entirely different human being. And everybody who knows me will attest to that. So let me go back here Go back to the screen share, finish reading. There's a lot of extra buttons. But only so much can be seen from that kind of data. This drug works by messing up the way the virus copies RNA, its genetic material, preventing viral replication. There is some concern it could be mutagenic, meaning that it could cause mutation. That's a fucking problem. That's what the problem with this stupid Fauci ouchie is. Damn it. We don't need this mutating anymore, folks. Fudge sickles. One result could be that it causes birth defects. Is this sounding any better to you? Because it's actually sounding like I don't want to take this either. In the clinical trial, both women and men were told to either abstain from sexual intercourse or to use contraception while they were taking the drug and for at least 4 days after. Women of childbearing age also needed a negative pregnancy test to start taking the medicine. Could there be other effects? In a conference call with reporters Friday, a top Merck virologist said that Merck and Ridgeback had studied the mutagenic potential of the drug in both cell lines and in animal models that are routinely used in drug development and which are accepted by regulatory agencies. I would say that in all of the models where we have looked, we have seen no evidence of the potential for mutagenicity for this agent. We're very comfortable that the drug will be safe if used as intended and at the concentrations. I am being teased with food, I have a feeling. Sorry. Forgive me. I just have to. Yes, you can use that, but you have to do a conversion. Yes. Yes, you can use that. Get with me for the dosage conversions for not horse weight. Let's see here. Merck's trial was conducted entirely in patients who had not been vaccinated. That made it much easier to show that the medicine can reduce hospitalization and death. But damn it, they're mandating everybody to do it. If everybody's fucking vaccinated and mandated to do it, are we going to have anybody left to have outcomes like this to see how this actually works? No, we will not. You have to have a control group. Because patients who have not previously been vaccinated are more likely to be hospitalized or die. But does that mean in practice the drug will only be used in unvaxxed patients, or will it be used in cases of breakthrough infections? It's hard to say. Patients with breakthrough infections are at lower risk of hospitalization, which could change the risk-benefit calculus around the medicine. But remember, those numbers are, our numbers for the vaxxed who are getting hospitalized are skyrocketing right now. This is fucking great. Dana Graybosch, an analyst with SVB Leerink, forecast in a note to investors on Monday that this drug's sales will peak near $5 billion next year. I want to puke. Built into this are a number of assumptions, among them that the first mover. What did I just say? I didn't even read this whole article. And what did I say about being first to the fucking start line? I rest my case on that one. First mover advantage will mean that Merck and Ridgeback will be used more than the other pills in development, and that unvaccinated patients with Okay, this doesn't even sound. This is a complete contradiction of their own statement. Unvaccinated patients with breakthrough infections. A breakthrough infection is an infection of somebody who's been vaccinated. That's wrong. Will be eligible to receive the drug too. Timothy Anderson of Wolf Research, a standalone equities research firm, takes the other side, essentially saying it is too soon to put a number, and it is. In part because data from competing firms are not available, but also because other questions remain. Vaccinations rates continue to rise in the U.S. and other developed markets, meaning the cohort of patients who would qualify for this drug will shrink over time. Successfully using the drug, he pointed out, will also require that patients get tested early in their disease course. Well, apparently testing is becoming a problem for people. There are some folks who cannot find testing sites right now. Go to your local airport if you have one. There is COVID testing sites in there. There is vaccines being given in there. If you can't find a testing site because they just all of a sudden evaporated, Go to the airport. That's one of the places you can go. Let's see here. Most analysts are basing the cost of Molnupiravir on the $1.2 billion the U.S. government spent to lock up 1.7 million courses of the medicine, which works out to $700 per 5-day course. That's almost half the mother effing price of remdesivir. So at least it's not the same price. But Anderson points out that the cost for a new pill to treat influenza developed by Roche is just $150 per course. Will the $700 price hold up? See? These are the questions people fail to ask themselves when they read a news headline and start spreading bullshit all over Facebook and social media. Questions about payment and distribution could play a big role in how big the market for this drug gets. Anderson assumes in his note to clients that in the U.S., insurance companies will be paying for the drug through traditional channels. He expects that at $700, insurers will restrict use of the drug to those who are unvaccinated and have multiple risk factors for the disease. Basically similar profiles to those who are in the trials, because that's who it was used in. But it's also possible that sales in the U.S. might be mostly to the government. That's a high probability. This is how things have worked with both remdesivir, used in hospitalized patients, and the monoclonal antibodies developed by Regeneron. Oh, yeah. Let me just bring up So FJB there in the White House restricted the monoclonal antibody treatment in the South here to states that don't have high vaccination rates, Texas being one of them, I believe Florida, and there's a few more. Really, dude? You're going to cut 70% of our supply. So you know what Abbott did? He just went directly to the source and got them from somewhere else. And guess what we have now in Texas? More monoclonal antibodies. Will the government handle the distribution of a pill granted an emergency use authorization in the same way that has handled the monoclonals? And then how will the availability of COVID pills affect vaccines and other treatments? It doesn't make any sense to forgo a COVID vaccine because a pill to treat the disease exists. Yeah, it fucking does, especially for those who don't want to get it. The benefits are additive, and someone who got a breakthrough infection and then the pill has a much lower risk of hospitalization. Well, you got a much lower risk of hospitalization with either one than someone who just relied on the pill. But it seems likely that some people will feel less urgency to get vaccinated as a result of this drug's existence. So here's what I'm going to predict. They'll authorize this drug, and then they're going to see the vaccine numbers drop, and then they're going to pull it for some bullshit reason. Or we're going to have some more insane mandates because they're looking for a reason. And there are, when I get done with this, I'm going to go back over something because there's another TikTok I wanted to show somebody or a lot of people because it makes, you can hear it in your own word, or in their own words. Shares in Regeneron also fell as oral drugs create uncertainty for its monoclonal antibody treatment for COVID. The landscape there is uncertain, with other companies coming forward with antibodies that may have advantages. One small firm, Adagio Therapeutics, recently presented early data on an antibody it thinks could be given as a single shot. How does this treatment relate to ivermectin? This is simple. It doesn't, but it's worth taking a look at what data are available for each. Ivermectin, ironically, is another Merck drug. The company's donation of the medicine to be used to combat a parasitic disease called river blindness is one of the great examples of pharmaceutical philanthropy. It's also used as a veterinary drug to treat heartworm. I like how they put this at the end of the statement, because all these freaking leftists who want to sit here and scream, "You're using a vet wormer." No, we're not. It's actually a human medication. We're dispensing it in the hospital, and it also works on animals. It is not a veterinary drug. But you can't tell people that who believe the mainstream media, because God forbid you do your own damn research. Early in the pandemic, there were studies in cell cultures that showed the ivermectin and another drug, HCQ, might be worth testing as COVID-19 treatments. Multiple studies have failed to show a benefit for HCQ, but the picture is murkier for ivermectin. Still, one of the largest studies showing a benefit was withdrawn due to widespread flaws. There is a study conducted in Brazil, the Together trial, that tested a 3-day course of ivermectin compared to a placebo and showed there was no benefit on hospitalization and ER visits. That would make it unlikely that ivermectin, an old antiparasitic, would have efficacy approaching this newer antiviral. Drug companies are unlikely to conduct large, rigorous studies of older generic medicines, although Novartis did begin then stop an HCQ study. But right now, it is unlikely that ivermectin is the oral COVID medicine the world needs. Well, when you keep stopping trials and only doing them for 3 days, I mean, how are we to determine these things? You can't. You seriously can't. No, I'm talking to you, Siri. God dang this bitch. I did not say seriously. Go away. Let me get back into TikTok here because it shouldn't take me too long to find the video. Hang on. But I want to show you this because this is coming from the government and everybody that we hear talking about things, and this is their own words. I mean, this is what exactly they said. I don't know what else to say here. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. You can tell I've obviously spent a lot of fucking... Oh, I do want to show you guys this one. Hang on. You need to hear this. This disgusted the hell out of me. And this is going to become a problem for more people getting a doctor visit. We have a huge freaking problem. I know. It is a shame that they might get it over. We've been studying RLF Zyesami for a year, over a year now, because I think they started it last February. I mean, this is just, I am sick to my stomach, but I want you to hear this from a patient who's pregnant and what they did to her at her specialty appointment.
Cardiologist appointment scheduled since May. It is now August. Today is my appointment. I show up for that appointment wearing a mask. He's wearing a mask. And I'm told that because I am not vaccinated and because he is too young to be vaccinated, I can't be seen. A 5-month pregnant woman who is having heart problems cannot see the cardiologist she has waited months to see because I'm not vaccinated. Tell me again that it's about public health. These doctors and nurses should be fucking ashamed of themselves for turning away a patient who needs help because of their vaccination status. Unfucking real.
And that's why we're walking away, folks. That's why people are crossing and going out that door and never returning. How can you do that? Fuck you to that doctor. Fuck you. How dare you? My son can't go to counseling because he doesn't have a vaccine. He's 10. Not even approved for him. I can't with this shit, man.
I've had a cardiologist appointment scheduled.
Stop.
May.
Trying to shut the volume off. He's 10. He's freaking 10, and we can't get a doctor's appointment. I have a huge, huge problem with this. Hang on, I'm looking for the one. I know it's in my photos, but it should be easier to find here. I know the girl's face. I have been talking to a nurse who's being railroaded for speaking up. I caught her TikToks. She's being railroaded for speaking up about unsafe staffing ratios. There was one that I shared about a nurse. She relieved somebody on break, and she went in, and this fucking lady's titrations for all these medications were so screwed up. And then when she got back from her break, she explained what she did to make the adjustments. And this girl got pissed, asked her who the hell she thought she was making this adjustment. Come to find out, the lady has no ICU experience. And she had these patients on highly unsafe levels of medication. And that was out in New York. I mean, this is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Where is this damn video? But we can't be doing this. Where is the damn video at? This is what happens when you spend 16 hours on fucking TikTok over the damn weekend and have liked everything under the sun. Damn it. I'm just going to keep looking for it. But we have a huge problem here, folks. I mean, this is not okay. You cannot harass people for crossing a picket line. You cannot, that was absolutely sickening to hear that from my counterparts and my peers in healthcare, screaming at our other peers in that manner. Fuck you, you pieces of shit. Really? They're there to take care of people. Okay, here it is. I found it. Hold on. Okay. I want you to hear this because this is really freaking important. Come on. Because this is quite literally their words.
I don't think it should be mandatory. I would demand it be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power. Just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide.
Can we mandate vaccines across the country? No, that's not a role that the federal government, I think, even has the power to make.
We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do. It is a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
No, definitely not. You don't want to mandate and try and force anyone to take a vaccine. We've never done that. We don't want to be mandating from the federal government to the general population. It would be unenforceable and not appropriate.
I don't think it should be mandatory.
Unenforceable and inappropriate. That's their own words. I have another one full of a bunch of liberals from last year, Pelosi, all them guys, saying that they would never get the vaccine if Trump was behind it. Well, you did. And now you're, well, here's the thing. Why are you not forcing Congress and the Senate to get this vaccine, but the rest of the American people are being forced? They're federal. It's a federal requirement, right? Why are you exempt? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Oh, I'm going to get to Harley. So I want to talk about this. This has raised some more questions for me. So my daughter was born with rheumatoid arthritis, but we didn't know until she was 10. We thought she had like asthma and reactive airway as a child. So she spent many, many years in the hospital. Every fucking flu season, we were in the hospital with pneumonia. So her lungs are extremely scarred. When she gets the flu, when she got the flu, not last year, but the year before, I had to call my adopted mom, my former boss, and I'm like, you get up to the hospital, you know, because I'm freaking. I'm stuck down here. I can't get up there to see my daughter, and she's been almost ventilated a few times with the severity. So I'm like, oh, fuck, if this kid gets COVID, she's screwed. Quite the opposite happened. I don't know if it's due to her lung scarring that virus just couldn't sink down in there and replicate like a mofo or what. But my daughter, who has severely damaged lungs at 22 years old, got through this easier than the flu. She was kind of congested for a few days, and then it just evaporated. She'd been out running around outside she ain't sleeping, she ain't laying down. And I have said this time and time again, I am watching this virus's symptoms weaken every year. When I first started out in Jersey last year, we had people being weaned off sedation that were completely altered, obtunded, were not right. I'm like, how long has the sedation been off? Weeks. Shouldn't be acting like that. So I knew very early on we were having neurological problems affecting the brain. What I am seeing now is quite different. People are not having such of a mental impairment with this. I'm not seeing as many complaints about brain fog. The main complaint with this variant is congestion. It's mutating down to a common cold symptom. I wonder why. Same family. So it is weakening every mutation. And I told you last year when we heard about the UK variant, oh, it's twice as transmissible, less deadly. Same thing with this. It's less deadly, more transmissible. It's trying to spread. And once everybody has some kind of antibody against it, we'll be fine. I have yet to get it. Haven't gotten it. If I got it, I didn't fucking know because I ain't been sick. And that's what I'm seeing. Like I said, though, I've had 2 friends' parents pass away, but they are older. And I don't know what their health status was. You know, was there diabetes, hypertension? I do know the one lady. She had a lot of comorbidities, and that's probably why it killed her. Honestly, it's the comorbidities that are going to kill you. So my advice is eat more vegetables, lose some weight, get outside, get the fuck outside and walk, exercise, get out of the house, get out. Because we have been told to stay in this sucker for way too long, and that was part of the problem in the beginning. So now nobody wants to listen to anything, even if it makes sense. Nobody wants to listen. I can't. And you wonder why I'm moving to remote Alaska. The population in my current city is the entire population of the state of Alaska, which is 1/3 of the U.S. landmass. I like those odds of no people. And the people that are up there are about tired of this shit too. They don't want to deal with the politics and the BS. They're just up there surviving and living, and that's where I want to be. It's so relaxed. Even the rich people are running around in jeans and sweats. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I can't pack this fucking place up fast enough. Like, I'll walk to Alaska just to get there. But we got to stop this behavior. Somebody, you see them freaking people acting like that, slap somebody upside the back of the head if they're with you. Damn. I can't do this anymore. People are so hateful, so rude. And I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing all over TikTok is a lot of Black Democrats walking away from their party. TikTok after TikTok after TikTok after TikTok after TikTok. Guess what's going to happen during the next election, folks? We're either going to have a civil war or some major shit's going to change in this freaking country because this cannot continue much longer. This is too volatile. And I guarantee you the U.S. military who vowed to protect the Constitution. I was talking to my best friend up in Michigan today. And he's like, the military is going to be knocking on your door, demanding your weapons. I'm like, ain't going to happen. I don't know a single veteran or active duty military who would violate your Second Amendment rights. Nope. I'm pretty sure they would give the uniforms back and they are fucking gone. I honestly feel like we're going to lose about 25 to 30% of our active duty military because of that vaccine. There are officers leaving with many, 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 many years of combat experience. And we need that because I got into a huge fight in the comments of a news section. Big surprise. With somebody when I made the comment that we just brought a bunch of unvetted Afghans over here and dumped them on our U.S. military right in my backyard. Fort Bliss is like 13 freaking miles away. And they are disappearing from the military bases in Ubers. That's nice. So they're calling Ubers, leaving the base, unvetted, undocumented. And they're just out here with the rest of the freaking migrants. Dude, the Border Patrol. I drove along the border wall on my way home because 375 leads right to my house. The Border Patrol is ridiculous out here right now. The border checkpoints are ridiculous out here right now. Abbott has tanks and all of our military National Guard equipment lined up over in Del Rio again because we got 60,000 Panamanians heading this way. My friend up in Montana may go down and work the border. This could get very deadly because there are very undesirable people coming over that border. And we've had 3 Afghan people who have been brought over here that have been arrested for sexual assaults and beating on women. Sounds like who I want in my country. We don't need any more of those. And we have no idea where. And this guy wanted to, we vetted them before they left on the plane. How? You're all over an airfield that we're trying to evacuate. You didn't vet anybody. That's why they're all sitting, being processed on the military base. Folks, the level of liberal logic is, I mean, my hair is so gray. I can't wait for it to grow back either. I miss my pigtails. But we can't be doing this. You have got to quit emotionally reacting and start reacting with some common fucking sense. Hey, Roxy. Oh, it is all, and I'm even seeing a lot of Democrats that weren't like hard leaning. They were more progressive. They're pretty much in the alt middle now. They're going to lose a lot of this party, and they're probably going to lose control of that Senate. It is very, very, very important to go to your midterm elections and exercise your right to fucking vote more than ever. Because this cannot continue the way that this is. We knew this was going to happen, and this is going to, and this man has been a president, since January? We're in the 9 months. In 2 days. It'll be 9 months since he took office. No, it's 2 months. 9 months since the January 6th riots. But yeah, so 9 months pretty much. And we are in this fucking shit show. I think our economy was doing pretty good under Trump, even with the coronavirus shit going on. The jobs were there. We weren't being forced to be vaccinated. People can't, I mean, this economy is fucked. It is so fucked. So many businesses are going to continue to close, small businesses. So now all we have is these big corporations again making money. The little guy is who the odds are stacked against. In this country, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, we can't pursue happiness when the global elite are at the very top, stepping down and not allowing us up that fucking hill. And that's exactly what's happening to NeuroRx, if I want to give that same analogy. They're little. For those that don't know, NeuroRx is the one that is working with the Zyesami over here in the U.S. They are owned, it's operated by former big pharma executives that came together and formed their own company to repurpose old medications. So obviously they're not part of big pharma anymore, but who's getting the most attention with this new drug? Big pharma. It is really scary. I mean, I just don't know exactly. I was on the Trump train, but I'm like, man, I hope he runs in 2024. Honestly, I don't, because I don't think that this country can take any more volatility, but I hope we have a really awesome conservative that we do want to vote for and that will sway more people to leave that Democrat Party. If Trump gets involved again, it's just going to continue to divide. As much as he's done good for this country, I think it will continue to divide just because of the narrative that's been fed. So I really hope that we have a really awesome conservative that's willing to run and take those folks with him. Because if it is Trump, the Dems won't leave. We already know that. So we really need a really great candidate. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that things are going to hey, we saw the fucking light. Let's vote properly and knock all this shit off. And let's get back to living in America. Wishful thinking, I think, at this point. Any constructive. Yes, this is a mess. I'm going to go crawl in that bed tonight and I will start packing in the morning because I just need a good night's sleep. So that's all I have for today. Now that I know how to share my screen through StreamYard, it'll be a little bit easier. But I have a lot of freaking TikToks that I can't share. I'm in Facebook jail, but I can share them on here and give my feedback. And I might just stash a whole bunch of them and just do like a response video with the TikToks because I am sick to my goddamn stomach. And start harassing your lawmakers about RLF 100, please. Take the links that I have done in these videos and send them to your representatives because we need them to start talking to the FDA about this. This is bullshit. 700,000 lives. 700 freaking thousand American goddamn lives could have been saved. So we could have saved about 567,000 of those people. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great night. I'm going to relax. Oh, thank you, Roxy. I'm trying to grow my blonde hair back out, and it's driving me crazy with the purple because I just want to put more purple on it. But I'm trying to get it back to blonde so I can see how much gray is in there. Because if it's a lot of gray, I'm going to go with silver. Just gray it right out. But yeah, it's getting there. Misty won't be using any more hair bleach ever again. No, I will not. That will no. Don't recommend it. Sorry, Brad Mondo.